Do you remember who you used to be before you ever experienced pain? Do you remember who you used to be before chaos ever visited your home? Do you remember who you used to be before that guy or that girl hurt you? Do you remember who you used to be before whatever it is that went about targeting your heart to turn it to where it's now bitter, to where it's now hardened? Do you remember? Hello everyone, welcome to day 32 of 40 lessons to my 40th from the Joseph Tribe series. Sorry y'all, it's been a minute. Anyway, what is lesson 32? I'll say it again. Your heart is still the biggest thing that matters to God. You know, there was a time where people would make it look as though because we're now in Christ, our heart no longer matters. Because now we're in Christ, you know, all things are passed away, we're born again. All of that is true. It's true you're going to make it to heaven once you're a believer, yes. However, God is still interested in your heart. It's the most important thing to him because that's the only way he can. And it's so funny because the heart is the one thing you can't see. No one can really see how people can pretend, right? But God sees the heart. God sees the heart and it's still important to him, right? Because your heart is what flows out of everything. That's why he tells us to guard our heart, because out of it flows everything of life. So it's very important. But what is so funny is that God is telling us to guard our heart because our heart is a gate. And that is what the enemy is also after. The enemy is after our heart to contaminate it to where it becomes bitter and hardened. And everything we're supposed to do for God or with God, we no longer can hear. We no longer can see. We can't perceive. Our heart is so hardened. We can't experience what we're supposed to experience because we've allowed contamination and pain in our garden. The weeds become weeds in our garden. This is me talking about the terms of the book already. You know, and all of those things already like kind of, you know, disbobulated and coming together to where we're not functioning the way we're supposed to function. Just imagine a garden with a bunch of weeds and a bunch of, you know, that's what happens. Our heart is so contaminated, it's not flowing, it's not beating properly. And this actually happens physically where when we clog it up or whatever, before people are having sicknesses and things. So it's our heart. It's very important to keep it pure, right? This is something that you guys know if you know the story of Joseph that he kept. The enemy tried, y'all. The enemy tried to take and to turn his heart. But Joseph was, it's so weird how he's in the Old Testament, but the guy understood what that principle meant. And he wouldn't let his heart turn, regardless of what he experienced. And that's what God is looking for us to do, right? And two scriptures that you see this encapsulated in is first in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. This was when God was describing, I think, Eliab, which was the first son of David's father. And it's so funny because Saul saw him. I was like, oh no, not Saul, I'm sorry. Samuel saw him